Listening to the Armchair GM Sports Network.
Welcome to another edition of the OHL in 60 podcast with Colin Ward. I'm Reece Doumani. We appreciate you joining us as always, whether you're watching us on the Armchair GM Sports Network YouTube page or wherever you get your podcasts. We appreciate you tuning in. And, well, Happy New Year to everybody. BC is in the clouds running the show for us technically. So, we're ready to go for a pretty busy week around
Jersey
the Ontario
switch.
Hockey League. And for us, is that the biggest headline for a lot of people? Obviously,
Jersey
trade
switch.
deadline. That's probably a stupid question, but like the jersey swap, I think we look forward to that, Wardy.
Can you imagine if we didn't talk about a trade today and just talked about jersey swaps? Just talking about the jersey
I
switches
mean,
halfway through the year. No
I
trades
love
happened.
it.
It wasn't like Monday was crazy and all over social media. But we'll talk about the jerseys. I was about to tweet out that teams are about to acquire young jerseys, like their own jerseys, but I couldn't figure out wordage what to tweet on it. But I was gonna have there about tweeting out about something about this team acquires their dark jerseys now for the rest of the year, something at home games, something along those lines.
Yeah,
I couldn't quite get it going.
well, we kind of got a taste of an all jersey matchup. I'd say that Brantford Erie jersey matchup, New Year's Eve, the yellow and the blacks, that was an all-time jersey matchup.
Yeah, but the color's too similar. I wish Erie went white.
Okay.
I wish they went white. I get the yellow. It's so similar. Maybe it was the camera with the broadcast, but I don't know.
It could have been.
I wish they went white.
Yeah.
But it's better than blue.
Yeah, fair. I just like that logo, that secondary Erie Otters logo. I think it looks sharp.
It's nice. I love it too. It's clean.
Yeah.
They did a good job with their new revamp there in Erie. They've done a really good job.
Yeah, absolutely. So, kind of give you a rundown of all of the headlines here before we get into it. We do have some OHL headlines. Well, some. We have a lot of OHL headlines to get to, sort of a start to trade deadline week. We're going to go through a ton of trades that were made on Monday. Team Canada does not win gold again. They are semifinal lose. It's going to sound really bad. Semifinal losers. Better than quarterfinals, I guess, but they fall to Czechia for the third year in a row. But it's better than not playing for a medal at all and just going home after losing. So, I mean, it is what it is. We'll touch on that. I'm really interested, Colin, to get your opinion on the NCAA guys that left, because opinion was strong last week on the show, and I'm curious how that held up as the rest of the tournament went along.
Well, I had to eat my words a little bit on that. A little bit I had to eat my words with that, especially with McKenna starting to score after the fact. But, I mean, I tweeted about Porter Martone with the hockey guy never lie. They never forget.
Yeah, you did.
And that's, I mean, valid. I mean, that's how it goes, right? Like, you do something like that, it's always going to bite you. So hopefully learn from that. I know they're just kids and they're young still and they're learning. I mean, I was 20 years old once and I did dumb things too. So it is what it is. But I have a lot to say about that. Honestly, Team Czech Republic, great for them. More CHL players anyway, like great for them. They just played better. I mean, we'll touch on it. I'll save it.
Yeah.
They were the better team. No doubt.
Yeah. The Team Czechia really, really good. And I said it before the tournament started. If Canada were to lose to Czechia this year, let's not overreact. It's not like Czechia is a dud. They're a really good hockey team. So it feels like an eternity not winning gold for like 3 years in a row. So I'm sure a lot of frustrations coming from that. But top prospects game, it's been a while. We've been meaning to get to this a few times, but just things have kept coming up. So we'll get to the rosters because that game's coming up. It's getting here. So we'll touch on that. Of course, Players of the Week being announced on Monday, and the updated OHL Power Rankings heading into the first full week of January in 2026. But before we get everything started, this kind of came out of left field as all of the trade news was coming through. But are we going there first? Okay, my bad. I thought we were going right in. All right. So Friday, this upcoming Friday, we are going live for the Ontario Hockey League trade deadline. That is January 9th, 11:30, right here on the Armchair GM Sports Network YouTube page. A couple hours, so 11:30 to 1:30. Make sure you join us. I think it's going to be a ton of fun. We get started when the last half hour of the deadline, but also we know trades trickle through afterwards, which adds
we need a trade
more
horn.
excitement. And yeah, we need a horn big time.
We need a desk. We need like a separate desk for someone mentioning trades. Like, it's got to be the whole 9.
Yeah, it's it'll be fun. I'm excited. Is this our first time live? History of the OHL in 60 podcast. I'm trying to think if we've ever gone live.
No, I think this would be the last.
I don't think we have.
This would be the first time. Yeah, I think this would be the first time. That's cool.
Look at us.
It'll be a great opportunity. It'll be cool to chat. Trade deadline. I mean, I think especially for what we see on social media, people are interested. We'll touch on it a little bit. They had a few responses about what they want their team to do at the deadline. That's kind of cool to see what fans want. And I mean, we'll touch on that on Friday as well. We'll get all the reaction from the fans, answer questions.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be a ton to chat about.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. So again, that's Friday. That's January 9th, 11:30 in the morning. We go live on the Armchair GM's YouTube page. This is where I was going, so that's on me. David Branch, again, news that kind of came out of left field on Monday while all the trades were coming through. But David Branch had passed away, or has passed away at the age of 87. Of course, the longtime commissioner of the Ontario Hockey League. His name is everywhere around OHL buildings, of course, with the banners that were hung up in OHL barns last year, his first year not at the helm of the Ontario Hockey League. So, Colin, this was a bit of a shock and really unfortunate news to see on Monday.
Oh, absolutely. The email came out from the OHL, and I was thinking, what? Like, I had to look up, like, that Dave Branch? Like, that David Branch? Didn't really hit home, but yeah, no, it's unfortunate. David Branch did so much though for hockey, like the building category in the Hockey Hall of Fame. He has to be on that as being a builder in the Hockey Hall of Fame. The amount of stuff he's done for the Ontario Hockey League, for the CHL, and that for that matter, has been incredible. The amount of jobs he's had, how long he's with the OHL, speaks for itself. All the stories about the person he was, all the time he took for everybody that was associated with the league, the respect he gave everybody was huge. And I think that's one of the best things to speak about when you speak about Dave Branch, the amount of respect that he had from his peers and people around the league, fans, families, everyone that was involved in the Ontario Hockey League at the end of the day had a lot of respect for David Branch. And I think this is really cool that you get the appraisal that he deserves, because obviously it's sad and it sucks for sure, but what he's brought into the game, I mean, is incredible. The game's not where it is without David Branch.
Yep. Absolutely. Well said, Wardy. OHL commissioner from 1979 until 2024. And then I always forget that he was the president of the Canadian Hockey League too, from 1996 to 2019. Wow.
Remember the Mem Cup presentation? It was always awkward because you would see him at the OHL giving the cup out, then 2 weeks later you would see him back wherever the Mem Cup was. It's like, oh, I forgot he overruled both leagues. We got the inside here in the OHL.
Yeah. So that shouldn't get lost either. So I just want to read a couple of quotes here from the article that's up on the OHL website. I encourage everyone to go ahead and read it. But from the words of current OHL Commissioner Brian Crawford, David's contributions to the game of hockey will continue to impact the game for generations. The entire league mourns the loss of a great leader and visionary who oversaw the growth and evolution of the Ontario Hockey League, always prioritizing the players and putting their experience first. And, of course, Dan McKenzie speaking on it as well. He's the president of the Canadian Hockey League. He goes on to say that his relentless focus on the player experience, both on and off the ice, will be his greatest legacy as the game is safer, faster, and more skilled because of his influence and leadership. So that's awesome words. And Colin, you said it. Dan McKenzie, echo your words. He was a true builder, and his rightful place should be in the Hockey Hall of Fame one day.
100%. It's a new one. It's got to be a Hockey Hall of Fame for David Branch. Without a doubt. Nobody's been a commissioner for that long in a league. I mean, I know Bettman's close, but like nobody's done as much for the OHL as anyone else has, any other commissioner, any sport. I mean, I know the NFL prints money. NFL's printing money. Like, yeah, this isn't a professional sports league, and the amount of good he's done for the league, the amount of things that have changed, evolved with the Ontario Hockey League has been incredible. I know there's been a lot of criticism, but there's been also a lot of positives when you look back at the end of the day and you look at David Branch, what he's done in the Ontario Hockey League. He's done a hell of a lot more good than bad, and I think that the game is in a better spot because of what David put it in. So that's incredible to hear those words.
Yeah, absolutely. So David Branch from 1948 to 2026, rest in peace to the previous OHL commissioner. Colin Ward, a career came to an end in Windsor, and I know you wanted to mention this right before we got into the trades, that it's something cool that teams are a part of too. It's not just he's going out there to officiate a game and okay, that's it. But I don't know if you want to call it a tradition, but kind of what goes on after the game. I know you wanted to get to that before we got to the trades.
Yeah, Ryan Hutchinson ended his OHL career, 18 years in official, 667 games. Everyone knows who Ryan Hutchinson is. Whenever you heard Ryan Hutchinson is the referee tonight, usually good things happen. It usually wasn't one of those games where he had a million reviews and it wasn't unorganized. I mean, always organizational games, always had control of the game for the most part in Ryan's career. Obviously, as a referee, you're going to have nights where you're bad and good. Yeah, there's going to be A games and B games. But
sure.
Incredible touching ceremony in Windsor post-game New Year's Eve for his last game against Saginaw. 18 years, 667 games. You got to pick the crew. Joe Manette was his fellow referee. That's cool. You get to pick your crew. That's another underrated thing with referees. They do the National Hockey League as well, where you get to pick your crew for a milestone game or your last game. You get to pick the crew, which is pretty cool. I don't know if umpires do that in baseball, but that's pretty cool that you get the opportunity to pick your crew. And obviously, it's easier with just one extra referee than the plate umpire, the base umpires and stuff. But that's incredible for Ryan Hutchinson. Incredible career. And honestly, there's more pressure on these referees coming up because it's big shoes to fill. Cue the fans in the comments right now on the show who are going to be like, yeah, more referees, more chaos, more missed calls. Yeah, here we go, right? Like, there's going to be big shoes to fill in Ryan Hutchinson, and I think that he had a great career in the OHL. Anytime you officiate for 18 years, that's incredible. And that's a long time in the league. So paid his dues, and I think that all the best on future endeavors for Ryan Hutchinson.
Yeah. I think in the NHL, you also get to pick which arena you're in. Like if you're from somewhere that's got an NHL market, is OHL the same? I was going to ask you that,
and that's what this was too, because I think Hutchinson is no one quote me on this, but I think Hutchinson is from Windsor area. I want to say Essex. So and like I say, don't quote me on this because there's no referee DB. I wish there was a referee DB. They're scouting the refs.
Colin Ward's going to create one.
You imagine it's not going to be like one of those burners too, hiding on their flip phones here trade season. Ignore the burners. PSA. Ignore the burners. That's why we're going live on Friday.
Ref updates.
Yeah, ref up.
Ref insider.
I want to say another one, but I don't want to give the person credit. Or the bot, or the cyber bot. The cyber bot.
I think I know which one you mean.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Let's get to trades. This is going to take up a good chunk, I would say. So it's Brampton and Kitchener hooking up for this one. Now, I know this was a week away, or a week ago, I should say. Or just over a week ago, but based on us recording during the day on that Monday, this happened later on, so we did miss it, but it is significant enough that we obviously have to talk about it. Gabe Sherratt, the lone player and asset going to the Kitchener Rangers, coming back to Brampton. Literally Adam Valentini's rights, as they were shipped to Kitchener prior to the year. But so his rights go back to Brampton. Kitchener's 10th in 2026, Brampton's 2nd in 2027, Kitchener's 5th in 2027, Kitchener's 2nd in 28, Kitchener's 3rd in 28, Kitchener's 4th in 28, Kitchener's 3rd in 29, and Kitchener's 8th in 2029. Morty, big haul for Gabe Sherratt.
A lot. Yeah, no, I like Gabe Sherratt's game without a doubt, and I think most of these picks we've heard from a pretty good source in the Ontario Hockey League that this deal kind of had to happen. Because my first question about the deal was it took me a while to comprehend this trade, because you look at it right away and you're thinking, why? Under a point a game, what are they doing this early? Usually a deal like this happens late, or you kind of create leverage in a deal. But apparently this deal, the Valentini part had to happen for the deal to happen for both sides to be happy. So that was a big focal point in the deal, apparently. So that was interesting to learn that, because then, okay, now that makes sense with the picks. But no, Gabe Sherratt under a point a game, 25 points in 31 games for Brampton. He comes over to Kitchener. He's going to get an opportunity. Obviously, Kitchener getting Amidowski back. You have a lot of opportunity. There were 4 OAs. That's going to be an interesting decision that I cannot wait to talk about on Friday. 11:30. Tune in, YouTube. There's going to be so many ads today about that. Tune in.
Oh, big time. Oh, yeah.
Can't wait. Pumped. And if you're a small child, you rip $5 out of your mom's purse and you come down to Flint Fairground Coliseum. No, you skip school on your lunch break and go listen to us. No, don't do that, kids. But I think that this deal for Kitchener, I know Sherratt's game, the points are what they are, but I think he's going to bring a lot of intangibles to Kitchener, that which we saw a little bit in Brampton. But he's going to have more of an opportunity on a more skilled team. No offense to Brampton, but let's be honest. Coming into the beginning of the year, where do we expect Brampton, and where do we expect Kitchener? Right? There's a big difference in play, big difference in styles. I think he's going to be a really good power forward for the Kitchener Rangers in the postseason, because let's be honest, that Western Conference is going to be a bloodbath. And now that deal with all the picks they moved makes perfect sense after what we see, and we'll touch on that in a little bit. Flint, Windsor makes sense, but Flint, what are you doing again? They buy hard. I'll give them credit. If Flint buys, they're buying. They did it last year with McHugh. Now they're doing it this year. So respect.
Yeah, and I mean, when you look at the Kitchener Rangers and potentially filling a spot, an article comes out the next day about Kitchener Rangers veteran Luke Elenas out 4 to 6 weeks, or 4 to 6 months. Thanks to a second shoulder surgery. So, part of that might have been to maybe escalate this deal and make it happen quicker than maybe it was going to. But yeah, exactly. So,
and honestly, for the teams too, and for anyone listening to this, a lot of players, he's a drafted player in the National Hockey League, but a lot of players have trade clauses. Like legit, every trade today that happened on Monday, and even if they weren't first rounders, we heard about trade clauses. Like every single trade. So like that's one of those moves where he probably has where he wants to go. He probably doesn't want to go too far east, being from Hamilton. Not going to get traded to Brantford. When you look at what Brantford has, you look at Niagara. They just got picks for Kevin He, but he doesn't really fit what Niagara's doing, because they literally just traded the 19-year-old in Kevin He. So that's not the direction. Kitchener's the only team that makes the most sense. It's close to Hamilton. Great opportunity for him in Kitchener. I think that honestly, if you're the Steelheads, you get leverage on that deal, and that's probably what happened. Like and for Kitchener, you eat your assets. You lose, you take the loss with Valentini. You gave an effort to it, right? Like at least you went up and you took a couple swings, but you're not going to get a hit every at bat, right? 3 out of 10, you're a Hall of Fame hitter now. So I think that it's a good opportunity for both sides. But I think Brampton in this deal had leverage on the deal, and they used it to the fullest.
Yeah. Couple minor deals to get to before we talk about Charlie Paquette, but Jackson Williams goes from the Ottawa 67s to the Brampton Steelheads. Brampton sending Ottawa their 7th round pick in 2027. Colin Ward, like I said, minor deal, but could this be maybe a significant one down the road by chance?
Yeah, this actually added up to the signing. Found out about this on Saturday or Sunday night, about where Ottawa was going with the free agent signing. And that's why I question what they're going to do at the deadline. That's very intriguing. Sign a free agent, a free asset. Ottawa's went very big. They acquire Sam McHugh. The guys they've acquired are big. They're they're hard on the forecheck, and that's Dave Cameron hockey. That kind of adds up to the signing there, the kid out of Michigan. That makes sense now with this trade. You had to clear a roster spot. Jackson Williams gets a chance on a young Brampton team. It's a 7th round pick if you're Brampton. That's a deal that you're going to see, right? We saw it with Jude Bray going to Flint. He's not committed. He's not going to play for the Bulldogs. It's a free pick, and the Bulldogs actually gained a pick in the deal. I think they gave up a 6th. For Bray in the summer, and then they ended up getting a 4th for him from Flint. So that's kind of the deal here. You're going to see those deals throughout the week. They're minor, but it clears space. It makes opportunity elsewhere. And instead of having to release a guy, go through waivers, if he's wanted in the Ontario Hockey League, 100%. And I think for Jack Williams being a young player, it's an opportunity in Brampton to play a lot. And then they're missing guys up front, right, with the deals that they've made. And there's a good opportunity for them.
Yeah. Absolutely. That you just mentioned that other minor deal that we're touch on quickly here. Jude Bray going to the Flint Firebirds. Flint sending their 4th round pick in 2027 back to the Brantford Bulldogs. Colin, we saw Jude Bray throughout training camp and into the preseason for the Bulldogs. Was essentially told that he wasn't going to be on the team full time this year. Decided to go back out west to the BCHL, and his rights get moved to the Flint Firebirds. I mean, are we looking at a chance where Bray comes to Flint and gets an opportunity? Is this, again, something down the road? What do you think?
Well, I think for right now, I think he gets a chance to play, right? It all depends here. That's one of the things. You're recruiting like crazy right now if you're Flint. The Flint card situation's interesting after the 2 deals they made last week with Kevin He and the deal on Monday with Battaglia. It kind of, now you look at their card situation where that is, I think now it maybe shifts to recruiting guys like Bray. Maybe like stuff like that. So we'll see. I think it's definitely intriguing for Bray if he has a chance to play in a certain role that he wants to play in the Ontario Hockey League and with the Flint Firebirds on a good competitive team. Let's be honest, them and Windsor are the 2 top contenders right now in the West, I think, for both of us.
Sure.
That's kind of an opportunity for him, right, to go there, play an impactful role. He goes to a situation, a team that's going for it. You get momentum in your career. I think it's a good situation for him. So we'll see if he follows through. We'll see if he ends up in a Firebirds jersey. I think there's a good chance. So I would say a 4th round pick. I would say even without the 4th round pick, there's a good chance he winds up playing for the Firebirds.
Yeah. Right. Brantford involved in another deal, acquiring. This is funny. This is a funny stat. I know Jeffrey Brando's probably going to get it on this one, but the Brantford Bulldogs acquire the 2nd captain from the Guelph Storm this season. Obviously, they grabbed Luchenko just a little bit before the World Juniors, and now they get Charlie Paquette along with London's 3rd rounder in 2026. Brantford sending their 2nd in 2027, Kingston's 2nd in 2028, and Ottawa's 3rd in 2029. Paquette, he kind of did his little, his lap around the ice at the Sleeman Center on Sunday. I kind of find it funny. It's in a jockstraps uniform. I think that's hilarious.
City jockstraps, where it was invented.
Yeah, but he I think the writing was on the wall. People in Guelph knew what was going on. It was just, I think, waiting to hear where he was going. We knew where he was going, but just for Guelph fans, waiting to see where he was headed. I mean, for Paquette, it sounded like he had asked, hey, can I finish out with Luchenko? Can I go play with Jet? Can I try and win a championship with Jet? And that happens. That reunion happens with the Brantford Bulldogs, Wardy.
Yeah, I believe this deal. I mean, it didn't happen all together at once when the Bulldogs acquired Luchenko as well. That deal didn't happen. It was separate. I truly believe the Guelph Storm wanted to see the best odds, best offer they could get around the table. And the Bulldogs apparently gave that to them. I think it's a good opportunity for Paquette to play on that wing spot with Jet Luchenko. Great chance to end your career, right? Like, you're 6'2", 207, you're a big winger. Kind of fits what the Bulldogs need, right? They have a lot of, I wouldn't say they have a lot of small guys on the wing, the Bulldogs, but they have a lot of small guys on the wing. There isn't a lot of size. Right. That's the one thing about what Sam McHugh brought to the table. At least he was big. Like, obviously, Sam McHugh didn't do much for them statistically, but he was big on the forecheck, and that's kind of where Paquette's going to be big, right? He's skilled, he can hit, he's physical. That's kind of where you want to go with this. And plus, he only has 6 penalty minutes. In a way, the Bulldogs last year, their biggest talking point was they want to be the lowest penalty minute team. That was their goal last year. This year, obviously, you go out and acquire guys like Ryder Bolton. That's obviously not going to be the case. Charlie Paquette kind of brings that back down a little bit, and it's a great opportunity. A veteran forward, you had 2 OA spots available. If you're going to be competitive, you at least need 2. Hopefully, though, for the Bulldogs standpoint, he can fill in on faceoffs a little bit too. Obviously, being a winger, we'll see. But I just think the Bulldogs' biggest priority should be centers because they are horrible in the faceoff dot. But that's for the Dogcast.
Well, and their Bulldogs' best faceoff man, you could say, scored twice against them on Friday at the Sleeman Center in Lane Gallagher, right?
Yeah, he was, and they traded him.
Yep, exactly. So you go back to, and again, we'll get into this a little bit more. Friday, 11:30, Armchair GM's Sports Network YouTube page, trade deadline show live. Man, we should like get a beer and take a drink every time we mention the show. Might be a time.
Might not know what I'm saying after.
Might be a time. But that's I believe that's 3 trades now between the Bulldogs and Storm this year. First one, Babin goes to Guelph, then Luchenko, and now Paquette. So this just led to another one, a big one between the Sudbury Wolves and Windsor Spitfires. A lot of people were wondering, when the heck is Windsor going to do something? Or what are they waiting for? When are we going to see the Spitfires do something? And they hook up with the Sudbury Wolves, who kind of make up for last year's deadline. Not really, because they still have a lot of work to do. But Alex Ferrand and Nathan Villeneuve go to the Windsor Spitfires. Going back the other way to Sudbury, J.C. Lemieux, Peterborough's 3rd in 26, Ottawa's 2nd in 27, Windsor's 2nd in 28, Windsor's 3rd in 28, Oshawa's 3rd in 28, Windsor's 5th in 28, Windsor's 4th in 29, and Windsor's 5th in 2029. Colin Ward, I am still grateful we cannot trade first-round picks, but this is another big one. We started with Sherratt and Brampton and Kitchener. Now we've got Sudbury and Windsor.
Oh, absolutely. I love this deal for both sides. Sudbury, this is 2 years in the making to make this deal. So congrats to the Wolves for it. Honestly, I'm not being sarcastic, for a good sell move. They were desperate to do this, and they did it. So congrats to them. And I think this is the direction they had to take. We've been talking about this for the last how many years. They had to take
time.
Windsor, I mean, Villeneuve there is so intriguing to me. Like, I'm very intrigued by this deal because Villeneuve with the 44 points in 28 games is huge. But the way he plays and the way the World Junior, what Spellacy had, I forget the other pronunciation that they said. It's like Benak, but it's Benak.
Right. Yep.
I don't even know how they did the other pronunciation for Spellacy, but Spellacy plays hard. You look at the guys they have, right? But Villeneuve slides right into that spot with Green Tree or with Belchez, whatever they want to do. They want to put them on the second line and make it a 1A, 1B situation. They can do that. It's a great opportunity. And I like the Ferrand situation there too, because Ferrand really gives them an element to be that third line center, a really good third line center. I don't think he's a second line center. I mean, as an overager, he's going to have an opportunity, but I think Ferrand will be a really good third line center. That's why if I'm them, 26 points in 37 games is a heck of a year. It's an underrated year on one of the worst teams in the Ontario Hockey League in the standings. Like, that's a great opportunity. But I think that with Ferrand, you get that opportunity to play on the second, third line. Oldest player in the league, I would imagine, his birthday yesterday on Monday, the day he gets traded, turning 21 years old. Got to be one of the oldest players in the league. With his birthday like that. But I think for Ferrand, though, it's a great opportunity as well. Round out your career. He missed the chance in 21-22, and the Bulldogs had that super team, and he gets traded in those deals. He missed a chance. Now he gets an opportunity in Windsor, where Windsor had size. They had size on the back end. Now they get it up front, and I think that's what desperately needed with Ferrand. With that ad, I really like that. I really like that add for them. I think that's a really good throw-in, you could say, to the deal. But I think that's a very underrated deal. And I think at the end of the year, we look back and think about this Ferran part of the deal being, wow, that's an incredible ad. That put you over the hump if you're the Windsor Spitfires. Because right now, look what Flint added. Flint adding Battaglia, great year last year, but you look at what Kevin He is, a speedster, dictate the pace player. You're going to throw Villeneuve and Ferran out there now, right? Big bodies. You're going to hit the way Flint plays. This is incredible hockey. The Western Conference is going to be a bloodbath. The trade deadline is going to be a bloodbath. Teams are going to go at each other here in the trade deadline.
Yep.
It's like the bear. It's like the bear gif or meme where it's poking the bear. Do something.
Oh, yeah.
Do something. Yeah. Sault Ste. Marie. What are we doing here? Are we going to do something? We'll see. But yeah, I like this deal. And JC Lemieux obviously going the other way. Great opportunity. Such a good opportunity for a guy in his draft year. Like Sudbury needed that. Sudbury. You look at the amount of players that were so good at 17 years old that they've given away. It's nice to be on the flip side of this.
Yeah, big time.
I think JC Lemieux makes up for that. I really think he's going to be a heck of a player for them. He was good with the QRD, Quinny Red Devils program. He's going to be – I'm really excited to see what he can do. He's ranked in draft rankings. There's an opportunity maybe to get us a fringe pick in the maybe late first round. That might be a stretch, but he's a center. It's a weak center draft. He has an opportunity to play more than the average 17-year-old now on Sudbury or in the Ontario Hockey League, that is. Because, I mean, let's be honest, Sudbury now, who you throwing out there for a big face-off late? I'm throwing JC Lemieux. Like, that's a guy who's going to take the big face-offs, going to be on the penalty kill, going to be on the power play. I'm excited to see where this goes for his career. As a player, it probably sucks to get traded off of a good team, no crap. But personally, it's probably so good for your development. That's like we could look back at this move and think,
Jay McKee.
What's that, sorry?
Jay McKee.
Yeah, Jay McKee.
The amount of time you hear that story. Yeah.
Oh man, twice a week, or no, once every other week. But the best trade. We'll hear it this week too because of the deadline. But
for sure,
honestly, for some guys, it's the best opportunity. You're not playing a lot now. He gets an opportunity in Sudbury. Sudbury's got to roll him out there, though. You got to play him in those big roles, give him the chance, and see what you got. Can't wait to see that. I love that trade for both sides. That's a prototypical OHL deal. And by the way, listen, 11:30 YouTube, listen to the trade deadline show because I guarantee you there will be at least a 5-minute rant about WHL trading 5 first-round picks for someone we don't even know. Guaranteed.
I'm excited now. I can't wait for that 5-minute segment.
Oh, for sure there's gonna be a rant by one of us. By one of us, there will be a rant.
Well,
probably both, about a first-round pick getting moved for someone we have no clue.
Yeah.
Thank you for not moving first.
I'm trying to think if it was it the QMJHL where one team had 3 of the first 5 picks? Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, that's stupid. I'm gonna be blunt. That's dumb. Oh yeah.
Yeah, they'll be in the Mem Cup this year.
Yeah,
I would hope.
Absolutely. Kingston and Erie hook up for a deal. Alex Misiak, fresh off a quarterfinal loss to Canada at the World Juniors with Slovakia. He gets moved to Kingston in exchange for Saginaw's third in 2027 and Kingston's third in 2029. And Colin, I know how much we talk about Troy Mann and what he brings as a coach and the way he wants his teams to play. And obviously, correspondent Joel Vanderland, very familiar with Troy Mann. And you were talking about it before we even started the show that this is a Troy Mann guy, and he went out and got him.
Yeah, no, their staff must love this guy. Anytime you make a move like this, flipping after the Battaglia deal, that's massive. I really think that this deal for them is so good because you look at the move they made with Flint and the amount of picks they got to give up just 2/3 for a guy with like, what did I think beforehand I said like 8 less points than what Battaglia had.
Yeah.
Pretty similar. I know Battaglia last year, 40 goals. I know BC, you mentioned that before we went on air. And I know that. I respect that. And I think he's going to have a good season in Flint. I think he's going to score a lot of goals in Flint. I think he's going to find his game. But that's not in the Kingston system. Kingston's lost a lot. Misiak fits their system right now with the assets they have. I really like Kingston's young players. I I like what they have in Kuhlman. I like their team. I really do. I like their young players. I like their goaltending situation. Like, I think that this move for Kingston really propels them to have optimism for next year. Let's not forget, they were a team that was back in the summer that was involved with interest about hosting Memorial Cup next season. So
good point.
They hit the sell train, and they start maybe a competitive team season.
Yeah. Good point, Wardy. I totally forgot about that. They were one of the teams in the mix. So, and obviously you bid for a Memorial Cup because you think it lines up with your plan and your system. And well, if you don't get it, doesn't mean you turn away from the system whatsoever. It doesn't mean you turn away from your plan. If it's still worth it, it's worth it. So, it'll be good to see. And of course, you mentioned briefly the Battaglia deal. We're going to get into it now. Boatload of picks coming back from the Flint Firebirds for Jacob Battaglia. Windsor's third in 26, London's third in 27, Saginaw's fourth in 27, Owen Sound's fourth in 27, Flint's sixth in 2028, Flint's second in 29, Niagara's second in 29, and Flint's fifth in 2029. I'm excited for the Western Conference portion of the playoffs.
Me too.
We already know what Western Conference hockey's like in the regular season. It just gets amped up even more in the playoffs. And this might sound a little odd to say, but when London's not Londoning, it kind of feels like more teams have to go in for it because the next year London could be London again, and you don't really know. So the Flint Firebirds just adding more talent to the lineup and a hefty price for Jacob Battaglia.
Yeah, no, it's a big price, and there could have been a lot of teams involved. Could be one of those teams. It could be one of those spots where that's where he wanted to go, and it's the only spot he wanted to go. So you got to pay the piper if you're Flint. Also, Flint notoriously, I guess now after last week with Kevin He, last year at Sam McHugh, they buy high. They're not afraid to have the quote unquote head scratcher trade, where it's like, wow, that's a lot, but credit, if they want something, they do it. They obviously are in love with Battaglia, what he brings to the team. They trust that he's going to have that 90-point season, 40-goal season like last season. If he scores 30 goals there, that'd be great. 16 goals.
Yeah.
That'd be great. Yeah. So, I think that I really like this move for both sides. I think for the player, you get that opportunity to be the leader on Flint, play with Aspinall, play with Kevin He. You get to play with some pretty good players in Flint. You have a chance to contend. And on the flip side for Kingston, I mean, that deal that they got with Battaglia kind of makes up for last year with the move that they did with Saginaw, getting all those picks, right? Yep. So you're kind of back. You fill up the cupboard again, and you focus on building your team for next season, right? Maybe it's 07s in Misiaks. Maybe it's an 08. What do you do? I don't think they're done yet. Yeah. I think if they get the right offer in Kingston, I think you continue to add more picks to the cupboard or add a young 07 or an 08 player if you can. And I think that would go a long way for the Frontenacs as well.
Yeah, absolutely. One more to get to before we talk about Team Canada and them losing in the semifinals and taking home a bronze, albeit winning bronze is better than losing gold. So we'll get into that in just a second.
Closest looking to gold.
True, man. Good point.
Customs. States never won anything.
State of hockey.
See it at Customs.
North Bay Battalion, Saginaw Spirit hooking up for I'm excited for the next 5 minutes after this. North Bay Battalion grabs Sebastian Gervais and Hayden Barch from the Saginaw Spirit in exchange for 5 draft selections. That includes third-round picks in 2026, that is Barry's, 2028, that is North Bay's, and 2029, that is North Bay's, and then 2 fifth-rounders. One in 2027, that's London's, one in 2028, that is Owen Sound's. Colin Ward, you're a really big fan of this trade.
I like this deal for North Bay. Honestly, I like what North Bay did last year with some of their signings that they had, free agent signings that they had. I like the deal with Barry that they made. I don't think the players have played to a level I expected them to play this season in North Bay, but I don't think anyone's played to a level that I expected them to play North Bay. And I like this deal, especially getting Gervais. I know Barch is a big defenseman. I like that deal as well. Right-handed defenseman. You look if you're watching on YouTube right now, don't look at our faces and look at Hayden Barch and look at that physique.
Yeah.
Look at that physique. Yeah. Like the big shoulders. Like that's a defenseman that you want. That's a defensive defenseman, a guy that's gonna hit guys. He's gonna knock you on your butt if you come over the blue line. And I love that. As a goaltender, I love players that play with that aren't afraid to lose their front teeth. And that's what Barch is. He gets the opportunity to really maybe be a point producer in North Bay. Not that high of a point producer. I don't think he is. I think he's going to be a defensive defenseman. He's big, 6'1", 200 pounds, right-handed shot. Can't get enough of those. I really like that deal. I like Barch in the deal. But my favorite part of this deal is Sebastian Gervais. Number one reason. The North Bay Battalion desperately needs somebody up front to get guys going. How about we add a center who is 6'1", 190, left-handed shot, who can push the pace in the lineup. If Precisions doesn't get traded, I haven't heard anything about Precisions getting moved.
No.
I know we had a conversation a few days ago with a source, and we don't reveal who, but I don't think that's a thing. I haven't heard that, so it could happen, but we haven't heard anything about that. But if I really like this chance for Gervais because he's a Memorial Cup champion. He's played on some competitive teams in Saginaw. He's going to come in there and push that pace. One thing I like about Gervais is when I've watched him in Saginaw throughout the season is if you watch Saginaw in games, they've been in a lot of lopsided games, unfortunately, for the Spirit. They've won some games, but they've also taken a lot of bad L's, like not lopsided scores. But the one effort is Gervais. Every single game brings it. He's a speed element down the middle. You know what you're going to get. He's got 25 points in 38 games, and I don't think points really matter with Gervais. It's the extra intangibles you're going to get. He's only a -6 on their team. Like, that's unbelievable on a minus team. Yeah. On a minus team like the Spirit are, for him to be a -6, I love this deal. I love the amount of picks in the deal. I think this is the best trade so far in the OHL. I think this is the best trade so far. It's a fair market deal. And I think that for both sides, for Saginaw, they get picks. That's a great part for the Spirit. They're still recouping assets from the Memorial Cup year just 2 seasons ago, right? So I think it's a really good deal for both sides. You give an opportunity for Barch, obviously with Gervais, with what he brings to the table. I'm really excited for that move. I honestly, what an opportunity to see Precisions get going. Petrie goes there, right? That from Flint, another guy to get them going. I think North Bay, and I've had them as my surprise team in the Eastern Conference at the beginning of the season, and I think they stay right there. I think this team, they have one of the most underrated goaltenders in the conference and the OHL for that matter, and Mike McIver. We saw that firsthand in person last year in the first round of the postseason. I like their defense core. They've gotten a lot bigger, no pun intended, with Karmanoff and Barch, but they've gotten bigger. And their forwards, you get a veteran forward like this, they've gotten older now on the front end. I really like their lineup. I think it's a sneaky, underrated, possibly a playoff round winning team if things can come together. They could possibly steal that 4-5 match in the first round. If they play Peterborough right now and Peterborough doesn't do anything at the deadline, what are they going to do, right? I think they would be favored in that matchup. I'm excited to see what can happen. Nevertheless, Friday draft show, 11:30 to 1:30. Tune in on YouTube because it's going to be fun. Yeah. It's going to be a blast.
Yeah, it's going to be a ton of fun for sure. Canada, they do win bronze after their only loss of the tournament against Czechia. They do win 6-3 over Finland in the bronze medal game to bring home a medal for the first time in 3 years. I mean, it's on the screen right now. If you're watching us on YouTube, Colin, plain and simple, I'm going to ask you, what went wrong for Canada in the semifinals against Czechia?
Man,
a hard question to answer, but
okay, I'm going to start with the in-game, the game,
okay,
like the physical game itself.
Okay.
Czechia came out and played with a purpose. Canada, I felt like, you got BC, you're in the clouds. You guys know this. I hate the thought process when you have to battle your butt off. You have to, and I was a goalie, and I hate this. I couldn't imagine being a defenseman or a forward, like a centerman. Like, I'd be begged. I cannot stand when you have to work your butt off to get pucks, retrieve pucks as you're defending. Then you get the puck and blindly just throw it away. Dump it in. I understand you got to change and you're tired from defending, but Canada got center or got the blue line, didn't even look at the net. They're just looking to ring pucks, just ring pucks. We had a backhand lead to a goal in our own end where it was a blind look on the backhand, just throws the puck. I'm thinking, one, like I said, I was a goalie and I learned in novice, defensemen don't blindly throw pucks behind your own net without looking. Like, you got to be sure. If you're going to go on the backhand, ask Evgeny Malkin about the 08 Stanley Cup Finals, about throwing a backhand blindly in the middle of the ice. Like, I cannot stand that. Maybe as a goalie, you get to see all this, and it's like, and I used to always commentate games in my head, and that stay focused sometimes. If your team's playing a good game, you got to stay focused. Carter George against Denmark, I'm sure, was doing that.
Yeah, oh yeah.
But you see a game, and I'm thinking, man, the shots are 18-6 in the third period, and it felt like Canada only turned it on when they were down. The goal there, net front, Martone to tie it. That was unbelievable. Yeah. Where was that the whole game? That's all we saw, right? Rashni's goal, we saw that when he tucked it up in front of the net. Where were those all game? Where were those? And that's kind of the process. Yeah. And I know London Night Hockey, you're going to see those high dumps. You're going to see that. But in a game where you're getting physically dominated, there was zero purpose out of the Canadian team. There was zero purpose. And like I said, coming into the tournament, I think we had Czechia, Sweden, Canada as the top three teams. It's going to turn out that way. Look at us go. Czechia is going to win. Czechia is going to win the gold medal. This comes out Tuesday. We're recording. Bronze medal game just ended. Gold medal game, puck's about to drop. I think Czechia is going to win gold. Now this could bite me right in the butt if they don't, but Czechia's forecheck, if they come out and control a pace like they did against Canada, I don't think they're going to get beat. I don't think they can get beat. Their defense are big. Shout out to BC with is it Materka, the Sabres pick? Shout out to those guys. Yeah, Radim. Those guys like him, Adam Juracek of the Brantford Bulldogs, Fibiger, Brampton Steelhead, where's he going? You look at those guys, those big defensemen that they had, they took all the space away. They took it all away. And sorry, non-Red Wing fans, but it reminded me of when the Red Wings, the last year in the playoffs, I know the last 2 years they made the playoffs a long time ago now. When I was a little kid. But it reminded me of that Tampa Bay defense, how they were just huge, right? Like, that's kind of what it reminded me of. It's like suffocating hockey. And I'm thinking, man, where's our big guys? Where's Aitchison? Right. I hate to call them out, but where are they? They're nowhere to be found. This is Canada hockey, man. If we get down, Brady Martin, the best quote of the tournament, why he was my favorite tournament player on Team Canada, I'd probably just hit somebody. And I know that hurts. The injury with Martin, but you think about that, I'd probably go out and hit somebody. That mentality was not there. And that's why they're not playing for gold. And that's why they're in the bronze medal game. Nothing wrong with that. Obviously, it's not the standard in Canada. There is something wrong with that. But I think, though, at the end of the day, they got outplayed. Czech Republic was the better team. Without doubt, Czechia was the better team. And anyone that says otherwise, they were the better team, without a doubt. And people can talk about politics. They can go on about that, how this player should have been there. Hey, they never lost a game. I complained on last week's show about guys in the NCAA not performing. It bit me. Hage had a great tournament. Ivan Kovic stepped in and played great. If it wasn't for Ivan Kovic, that game yesterday is probably, 8-4. He made massive saves late in that game, especially in the third period. The shots were 18-6 for Czech Republic in the third period. Canada was down most of the period. That speaks for itself with what you got at Ivan Kovic. I didn't I talked about this off air before the show. My two takeaways: the hockey gods never forget. I'm not blaming this. It's just a vent on not winning. That's all this is a vent, and I hope that people agree or let us know. Hit us up on the social media, wherever you guys do it. But I think that with Martone going by the bench after the empty net goal was a recipe for disaster. Me personally, I'm the most superstitious person you'll meet. I was a goalie.
Big time.
You're naturally with those positions, you're going to
be the water cup, the pen.
Yeah. You're going to be a little loose mentally and playing those positions. Parents, don't sign your kids up for that. Don't put them through it. But I just think that in those situations, like, you play the right way. The captain of Team Canada doesn't do that. You're not going to see Sidney Crosby do that. Connor McDavid in the future. You never saw Steve Yzerman do that. You never saw Joe Sakic do that. You never saw Gretzky do that. Bobby Orr, Wayne Gretzky, the list goes on. You never saw any captain in Canada do that. And that's where I think that, and I know it's a little thing, but I'm about respecting the game. I'm about after a game saying, like, shaking the referee's hand or the umpire's hand. That's who I am. Like, that's what you have to do. And I think that goes a long way in the little things. And hockey gods don't forget, right? And I think that the penalties late, the abuse of the officials, there was no control of the bench. People can come at me all they want about the coaching staff. You can come at me. I don't care. But the facts are, when Canada got scored on late, it was all out of control. It was hopeless. Let's be honest. Did we, like, Reece, this was one of the most skilled teams. But once Czechia scored, it was over. And I think everyone, you look at Michael Misa, you look at his face when they scored.
When they scored the fifth.
Yeah. Yeah, when they scored the fifth. Yeah. The leading goal with like 40 seconds left, whatever it was. But when you look at Michael Misa's face, it was over. That's where coaching staff comes in. Man, if I'm coaching in that situation, I'm going, boys, it's 40 seconds. Look around. I'm doing the Todd McClellan and saying, well, play bleeping hockey. You've done it your whole lives. You've done it your whole lives.
Yeah.
This is Team Canada. Let's be Team Canada here. So I think that there's a little bit of thing. Mentally, it was checked out after. I think there's a quit behind the bench. There was quit on the ice. Obviously, you saw it on their faces. And I wish that there was more of a hands-on approach in that last 40 seconds by the coaching staff just to create optimism. Maybe there was, but I did not see that on their faces there with 40 seconds left. I did not. I saw it's over.
Yeah.
And that sucks. It's a helpless feeling. My approach would be, though, we got to go balls to the wall here and we got to get going. That'd be my approach. And I don't think that was.
Yeah, no, you're right about the look from all the players. I felt it too. There was, there was no, I want to be Jordan Eberle and score with 5 seconds left, tie the game. We're going to win an overtime or a shootout, whatever the case might be. Like,
that's what
there was none of that. Like, and I hope people don't take this as us attacking these guys.
No.
They're all good hockey players. I know social media is a thing and people like to go at these guys. Oh, you didn't perform. Like, they didn't get the chance. It's like, okay, well, it happens. It sucks. Yes, we haven't won gold in 3 years. It sucks. But I think when you look at, and I know this, we're talking 10, 15 years ago, but when you look at the Eberle teams, and yes, Tavares was there and Subban was there. Ryan Ellis was a part of it. I can't remember if Henrique was on that team or not. I can't remember. Tokarski was the goalie. But like they get scored on late and it's like, okay, well, time to go to work. Like, you've got, I think it was a minute 14 yesterday. So like what, 74 seconds? You've got 74 seconds to make something happen.
Even more time.
And unfortunately, it might have been in the last 6-ish minutes or so that penalties were an issue too for Canada. So you can't really get into a rhythm to try and, whether it be tie the game or take the lead. It just felt like the wind was gone immediately after that puck went in. And the empty netter to follow, which that I've obviously sealed the fate. But you're right. It was very much it's over. With 60 or 74 seconds left, it was over.
Especially with like a minute 14, that's even more time. Like, literally, all you gotta do is say, "Hey, guys, just win the face."
Now, you mentioned something about a timeout that wasn't taken.
Yes, and I know that I know it was slow. There was a review, but let's be honest, there was no "okay, guys, take a breath" approach during that review. It was watching. We saw the looks on their faces, man. We've been there before, like. In certain situations, like, it's a crappy feeling and you see it's a helpless feeling, but there's no, okay, we got to tie the game here. Like, we got to do something. It's like, it was just concede, just take your ball and go home. And like, I just think, like, all the approach, I wish there was a time. I know they had the review, but I wish there was a timeout or a hands-on approach where, guys, emphasis on the face-off. Win the center ice face-off, gain the blue line, get the puck on net, crash the net. Hopefully you don't get pushed into the goalie and get called for a penalty. That was dumb. I don't even want to get started on that. Hey, credit to the IIHF officials. Credit to them. They call everything. It might be crappy. It might not be the style I want to see. It might not be the style someone else wants to see, but they call it. They stick to their gun. They stick to their standard. They have a standard, and that's what they do. I respect that part. But all you had to do, emphasis on the face-off, win the face-off, and I know it's easier said than done. You win the face-off, you get the blue line, put the puck on net, crash the net, legally, you hope. Then you crash the net and you get that opportunity. We'll see what happens, right? Like, then you get a face-off play or a timeout, and then you attack. You create a power play situation with the man advantage, and you create an attack, and you slow the game down and think, okay, let's play with a minute. Let's play with a minute left, put everything we got at them. But I don't think there was that yesterday at all. And credit to the Czechs. There wasn't an opportunity to do that.
Well, the Czechs have the best defenseman in the tournament. And Adam Juracek, just to make sure that the national broadcaster has the right name and photo on the screen. That was an issue yesterday. That was tough. That was. But anyway, I mean, it sucks. And there is one silver lining in terms of Team Canada news. Not necessarily World Junior news, but 9 OHL grads were selected to Team Canada for the 2026 Winter Olympic Games. That includes Connor McDavid, Nick Suzuki, Mitch Marner, Bo Horvat, Tom Wilson, Anthony Cirelli. On defense, you've got Drew Doughty, you've got Thomas Harley, and then in goal, you've got Jordan Binnington. So, and then you look off the ice. Bruce Cassidy's going to be an assistant coach. Pete DeBoer is an assistant coach. Rick Tockett's an assistant coach. Misha Donskov, an assistant coach. The director of player personnel, Kyle Dubas, of course, a part of that as well. So, a healthy group of OHLers headed to the Olympics in February, which, hey, quick turnaround. It's quick enough, I think. And you know what's funny? Your first game at the Olympics, and I know it's different. Team Czechia. That's who you get first
team this year.
So, yep. It'll be exciting. So we will step aside, though, for a quick break. I know we're a little bit late on into the show, but we will still step aside anyways. Still a ton to come here on the OHL in 60 podcast.
Butt ends are hockey stick grips, specifically for the top of the stick, designed to replace traditional clock tape. They're made of rubber and offer a more consistent and comfortable grip than tape, aiming to improve performance and reduce slippage. Butt ends are an alternative to regular stick tape that provide enhanced grip and comfort, are durable, reusable, and consistent with the ability to reduce vibration. The grips are available in a variety of styles, designs, colors, and even have options for specific player names. At Butt Ends, they are committed to providing the world's highest quality stick grips and continue to bring new technology and ideas with each new grip design, regardless of sport. Alex Petrangelo, Akil Thomas, Max Domi, Aiden Hill, and Tim Stutzla are just a name of few who have proudly used Butt Ends for peak performance at the NHL level. Check them out at buttendswithaz.com and use our referral code buttends.com/discount/armchairgm to get 10% off your order as part of our community. Engineered for greatness and performance. Butt Ends, the #1 grip in hockey.
Fourth Wall is the official merchandise supplier of the Armchair GM Sports Network. Our user-friendly site is print to order with no minimum items or inventory needed, shipped right to your doorstep safely and efficiently from the North American warehouse. All of our logos are available to supporters, listeners, and viewers can have the best variety available to them for their swag preferences. All items are priced as low as possible, allowing everybody who wants to support our business with the opportunity to do so, receiving quality and comfortable products in return. Shop today at fourthwall.com with a direct link to our Armchair merch store in the description of all episodes and in the bio of all of our social media accounts. Become an Armchair GM today with Fourth Wall.
You're listening to the Armchair GM Sports Network.
Welcome back to the OHL in 60 podcast with Colin Ward. I'm Reece Doumani, BC behind the scenes once again. Thank you so much for tuning in once again on the Armchair GM Sports Network's YouTube page, as well as any podcast platform that you've got us on. Reminder, Friday, 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time. We are live for a couple hours for live trade deadline reaction, breaking news, yada, 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 everything involved with the OHL trade deadline. I kind of just sounded like a Seinfeld episode there for a second, the one with the yada yada. But we'll be all right. Again, you can watch it right here on the Armchair GM Sports Network's YouTube page. First time we're going live in the history of the OHL in 60 podcast. So aside from all the trades that we expect to happen, that's pretty exciting as well. So again, that's Friday, 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time. OHL trade deadline reaction show right here on the Armchair GM Sports Network's YouTube page. Got a few topics to get to before we wrap up this week's show, or this show. We have 2 shows this week. Good math, Reece. The OHL Top Prospects game, we'll touch on that here quickly. That game is coming up, and we really haven't talked about it too much. So we'll get to that. We'll get to the players of the week. We will read off the OHL power rankings that were released on Monday as well. And then Colin Ward's inbox was very busy over the last couple of days. He's got a few questions from some listeners, and that'll help us guide into that OHL trade deadline show Friday, 11:30, Armchair GM Sports Network YouTube page. Help us transition into that. So the 2026 Connor McDavid OHL Top Prospects game is coming up Wednesday, January 14th, of course, at the Peterborough Memorial Center. It is a 7 o'clock start. Grab your tickets now because they will sell very quickly. We saw the reaction in Brantford last year for the inaugural game. It's going to be pretty packed as well. But getting to the Eastern Conference roster, Matthew Minchak of the Kingston Frontenacs, Ryder Fedorov of the Ottawa 67s.
Great goaltending.
I was going to say, I'm going to stop myself right there because those
that's better than last year.
Are, they shutout prospects game? No, that's probably tough.
Change them on the fly, though. If you're Rob Wilson, you got to change them on the fly. Change them on the fly, middle of the game.
Very, very solid. On the defense, Brady Murnane,
Sorry, you're probably going to get booed. You're in Peterborough.
Oh, big time. 1,000%.
Sorry about that.
Ben Reisnecker, Brandon, you know all about him. Andre Rumal of the 67s as well. Vladimir Dravetsky from Brantford. Leo Lashton as well from Oshawa. Take notes from Brady. That might be tough, especially if you're in a certain hallway at the PMC that has a lot of video cameras on it. Yeah. Oh wait, Eastern Conference roster. They'll probably be on the right side of the PMC. Yeah, they'll be good.
Oh, the media spot's going to be interesting for this. Meet in the middle, I hope, or that's a long walk around.
We'll just stand up. We'll just stand at center ice. We'll have each one come from each side.
One on one side of the rink, one on the other.
Yeah, might as well. Yeah. On forward for the Eastern Conference, it's Adam Levac, Brooks Rogowski, Leon Kolarek, Adam Novotny, Ryder Cali, Ryan Robrick, Nathan Amadovsky, Caleb Malhotra, Thomas Vandenberg, Rowan Henderson, Aidan O'Donnell, and Matej Stankoven of the Brampton Steelheads. There's a lot of names in that forward group. Colin, Novotny, Malhotra. We saw Aidan O'Donnell, of course, with Brantford before he got moved to Oshawa. Brooks Rogowski, another guy as well. There are names for this forward group.
You know who I'm most excited for? And Brandon, you can clip this because I know you're following, and Niagara is going to love this. I'm most excited to see what Ryan Robrick can do. This is his opportunity. This is his opportunity. You come into the year right where he was ranked. He's a B ranked player now, right? He was an A coming into the season. It was supposed to be him, McKenna. Like he was supposed to be in that talk, like a top 5 pick. Right now, obviously he's not there. But this opportunity for him to use this game as a positive, I think out of anybody, this is his opportunity to get back on the doorstep, get back up and knock on the door, ring the doorbell. You got your chance to get back up there, and I'm very excited to see what Ryan Robrick can do in this game. If he plays with some solid players. Everyone here is a skilled player, but let's say if he's playing on a line with Novotny and Malhotra centering, that's a top line. Novotny, Malhotra, Robrick. Very well should be. Robrick's going to have a big game in that night. Great opportunity for him. I'm very excited to see what Ryan Robrick, because let's be honest, there's nothing better than seeing players from the OHL go to the next level and be stars. Him coming into the Ontario Hockey League has shown everything about being a star. This year, draft years, crap can happen like that. He's 6'4", 215. He's a big body. He's an older player in this draft class. Absolutely, I think this is his game, and it's his game to shine. I cannot wait for him. For the players, you got to love that opportunity. So can't wait to see what Ryan Robrick can do. It should be his game up front, and that's going to right on to see what he can do in this performance. Because coming into the season, we would think, why isn't Niagara hosting this game? Because he would be the top guy available, right? He should be that should be the price of admission to see Ryan Robrick. So you might as well host a game in Niagara.
And when they announced where this game was going to be, Brady Wasslin was still a Niagara Ice Dog too, right? So there were talks. Yep, absolutely. Great point, Wardy. To the Western Conference roster. And again, starting in goal, Zachary Jovanovski of the Guelph Storm, potentially their starting netminder for a Memorial Cup tournament next year. We'll see what they decide to do in goal, of course. And then Stepan Shurigin from the Saginaw Spirit, Russian native. Not bad, eh? Pretty
Love
good.
That name.
Love it. Yeah. Also on defense, Ryland Singh. You've got Callum. Oh, man, I'm going to botch this one. Callum Croskery.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, look at me go. Who would have thought? Chase Reed, Lucas Ambrosio, Jacob Zhu, and Alexander Bilecki. That is your D-core. A couple of Rangers, a couple of Greyhounds on there.
I know there's a guy that we got to see this past week play. I think Lucas Ambrosio has a really good performance out of the D-core. He's put up he's had some big plays over the last week for the Otters. I think that's an underrated spot in that D-core for the Western Conference.
He's the biggest guy on the blue line, 6'4", 194.
Love it.
That's not a welcome sight if you're crossing a blue line.
He's gonna fill out to like 210 minimum.
Yeah.
17 years old. He's gonna fill out still.
Absolutely. I mean, obviously Chase Reed, a guy. He's an ace skater, ranked by NHL Central Scouting. We saw what he could do at the World Juniors. So Chase Reed, a lot of people are excited for him as well. Up front, Igor Barabanov, Alessandro Diorio, Pierce Bowie, Colin Fitzgerald, Alex Kostov, Ethan Belchas, Brady Wasslin, Cole Zarowski, Beckham Edwards, Jackson Cover, Carter Stevens, and Nikita Klepov to round it out. What's a name or two, or who are there a name or two that you're looking for on the forward group and excited to watch in this game, Morty?
Really like the CHL NDP game out of Alessandro Diorio. I really liked his performance playing with Caleb Malhotra. Obviously, they were together on the Vaughan teams there, growing up together. I think it's his opportunity to be the guy, right? You look at this team. Obviously, you look at Beckham Edwards, his Sarnia teammate. They play together. That would be kind of cool. You create chemistry. Pierce Bowie is going to be an elite player there. You look at the offense that he drives for the on attack, right? But I say Diorio, I think it's a great opportunity. He's an A-ranked. You got to keep your crown, right? This game, I think, for A-ranked players is like going to Disney World. When you go to Disney World, you want to see all the bright lights and the great rides and stuff.
Yeah.
And you want to ride the roller coasters, and it's all good. It's a nice attraction and you love it. But if you got to wait in line for 4 hours and it goes south and not your expectations, there's no middle ground for A-ranked players. It's either you had a heck of a night and it's the best, you're the future top pick, or you fell in the draft. You had a bad prospects game, you fall. I don't know about the OHL, like how it used to be, because that used to be a thing in the CHL top prospects game for sure. He had a bad prospects game, he fell. Yep. Very excited to see the opportunity for Diorio to really put himself over the measure, just like I have Ryan Robrick getting back into that category where those guys deserve to be with the amount of play and how good they are as players and their capabilities. So I can't wait to see those two gentlemen perform on the eastern side and the western side.
Yeah.
What's that?
Western
Western Conference looks good.
They're
Like
they look really good.
I'm picking, if we pick this game, I think I'm picking the West. Like you look at the forwards. I mean, you look at the centers.
Forwards advantage West, goalies advantage East.
Valid, man. You imagine? That would be a great storyline.
Oh yeah.
Also, I like the rosters this year. It's not overage. Like it's more prospects than it was last year.
Yeah, you've got 06s thrown in there. There's a 07s, but you're right. Yeah, the majority is 08s, right?
Yeah, like it's only because of late birthdays. It looks like they're after the cutoff.
Yeah, exactly. So, it'll be a lot of fun. Again, that's the 14th of this month that you can watch Prospects game at the Peterborough Memorial Center. Players of the week. Get to the OHL Player of the Week from Saginaw. It is Igor Barabanov. 5 games for him. He had 2 goals and 7 assists for a total of 9 points and was also a +3 for the Saginaw Spirit. In goal, the OHL goaltender of the week from Peterborough, Easton Rye, 3-0 in 3 games played. He has had a 1.33 goals against average, save percentage of .962, and he stopped 102 saves in those 3 victories, and one of those wins was a shutout as well for Easton Rye, who has Peterborough in a really nice spot in the Eastern Conference right now, which 11:30 Friday. Armchair GM Sports Network YouTube page, trade deadline show. Does Peterborough do anything? That might be a big topic on that show if they don't. So we'll see. And again, depends which way they go, but we'll see what Peterborough will have to offer. But they have a really talented goaltender in Mr. Rye. Rookie of the week in the OHL, the Saginaw Spirit, is Nikita Klepov. He played in 5 games, 3 goals and 4 assists for a total of 7 points for Mr. Klepov. And prospect of the week, the GOHL getting started up again the first week of January after a couple of week hiatus over Christmas and New Year's. But James Elliott plays for the St. Catharines Falcons in the GOHL. He's a Sioux Greyhounds prospect. Couple of games, he had 1 goal and 4 assists for a total of 5 points as St. Catharines. They're looking to try and claw their way up close to the Cambridge Redhawks, who are still number 1. And wouldn't you know it? It is January 5th. The Cambridge Redhawks have clinched a playoff spot in the GOHL. It is January 5th. They are 31-3. So that kind of tells you about that. But St. Catharines trying to chase them down. I know the Falcons got a big win against the Redhawks the other day. So yeah, Todd Bertuzzi, he's got them rolling, eh?
Yeah, what a program they got there.
Yeah, absolutely. Power rankings now before we get to some listener questions with Colin Ward. Number 16, up 1 spot, are the Saginaw Spirit. Down 2 spots to number 15 are the Owen Sound Attack. The Ice Dogs up a couple of spots to number 14. Guelph also up. They got a couple of victories as the Royal City Jockstraps. They are now number 13. Sudbury Wolves. I saw that smile. Colin, love it. Were you in Guelph Friday, by the way? I forgot to ask you.
No, I was not. All
right.
The holiday and stuff, I was all messed up. First time I missed a
True.
game in Guelph.
I was gonna say that's
5
spot.
years. It's an easy It's an easy spot, but a lot going on. A busy week. So
Fair.
From home.
Yeah.
Hopefully Friday night.
Nothing. You stayed warm though, at least.
That's the thing. It's one of the coldest
in
rinks.
Woodstock. Guelph's cold. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Friday night, anyways, it's my bowl game. It's my childhood game. So that's always cool. With the Bulldogs going to London, so that's always neat. Growing up a London fan.
Yeah, that'll be good. Hopefully,
post deadline
with full lineups.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, wow. I mean, that was the worst hockey game I saw all year from both sides when London was in Brantford.
Yeah,
it was
2-0, right? Yeah, because the empty netter didn't count. It was too late. So, yeah, we're hoping for that for sure. Number 12, Sudbury Wolves do not move. North Bay Battalion are down 2 spots to number 11. Kingston Frontenacs up 1 spot to number 10. Peterborough up 1 spot to number 9. Sioux Greyhounds drop 3 spots. They are number 8. The London Knights do not move. They're number 7. Kitchener doesn't move either. They're number 6. But Barrie moves up 3 spots to number 5. Flint's number 4 as they don't move from that spot. Brantford down 1 to number 3. Windsor up 1 to number 2. And the 67s from Ottawa do not move. They are the number 1 team in the OHL Power Rankings this week. And as we wrap up this show and kind of look ahead to our trade show, 11:30 a.m., Armchair GM Sports Network on Friday. Our trade deadline live show. Colin Ward, you've got some viewers/listener questions that you'd like to go over to take us home and into the trade deadline show.
Yeah, and I mean, this is exciting to close it out because now we're going to be thinking about this for the next couple of days. It's nice we don't have to wait a week. We only got a few days, and then we'll be back chatting about it. We'll probably open up with this because we'll probably have answers to this. What did the London Knights do? The London Knights, for the last how many seasons, it's been buy. You're loaded.
Mm-hmm.
This is the year, right? Is it, though? You get Nermy back. You get some luck. You get Nickel back from injury. You have players back. You have Sam O'Reilly coming back after an incredible World Junior tournament. What's the answer? What do you do? Me personally, I say they sell still. And I think they sell veteran players and you ride that 08 group to answer the question. Like, I think that if I'm the London Knights, I am selling. Like I said, growing up a Knights fan, they didn't sell a lot, but when they did, it was within reason. And this year it's a reason to. Right. It reminds me of a lot when they traded Robert Thomas back then to Hamilton and they got Connor McMichael. Like that year. I have a feeling that that's the year. This is the year they kind of sell. I think, and I think there's two players. I don't like bringing up players, but I think there's two players that are the obvious veteran players who are probably not going to be back next season. Woolley, O'Reilly. Those are the two, my opinion. I think if you get an offer you like, you don't have to, but I think if you get an offer you like, I think you definitely got to ship them. You have the great 08s, you play them, you plug and play them already. They played big minutes for you. Are they ready for that? Let's see, right? Realistically, the London Knights are not winning an OHL championship this year. I don't want to don't quote me on that because you never know. I'm not writing the London Knights off, but all things considered, you look at what Windsor's doing, you look what Flint's doing with the picks that they have had, Kitchener, I mean, buying, like you look at those teams, what they're doing, what's Guelph going to do? I'm very intrigued with Guelph's deadline. I just think with London, you look at the teams that have bought, I don't think the London Knights have the firepower unless they can sign a college free agent or somebody like that magnitude who can come in and make an impact right away. I don't think they have that. I don't think they have the ability to play with the Flints, to play with the Windsors this year in a playoff series. But they will be a hard out for sure.
Yep. It's always London, right? You can. Yeah. I don't want to say you all can almost automatically pencil them into at least a second round playoff matchup because again, who knows how the rest of this regular season goes? Who knows how round one goes? But the London Knights being in a non-competitive series on the wrong end does that. Nobody ever says that. So there'll be a challenge for whoever they play, whatever they decide to do.
This reminds me of, I think, 2018 when they got swept 4 straight to Owen Sound. Not that they're going to get swept. Yeah. I don't think they're going to get swept, but I think it's like that year. They finished 4th or 5th in the conference, maybe 6th. The rest is history. Like, then the following year they're in the OHL finals. Like, we've been over this before. We saw the song and dance. We kind of know what the results are going to be with the London Knights. They have a year like this. We know where they're going to be next year. We see what their 08s are. I think we agree on that one. Windsor Flint. I mean, we can talk about this in the whole Western Conference in a whole. We could add Sioux to this as well because this is 3 teams to me. And it's all Western Conference questions, by the way. A lot of Bulldog questions, probably because personally, a lot of Bulldog followers. So we'll answer that on the Dogcast the following week. We'll have a trade deadline recap, probably recording on Monday next week about the Bulldogs trade deadline. You'll hear that on the audio network. So any Bulldog fans, you'll hear that on the audio network, Bulldog-centric show there. But Western Conference, basically this week, all the questions. Windsor Flint will add in Sioux. What do they do? Sioux, in my opinion, has to do a lot to get to where they want to be with the Windsors and the Flints. I look at Sioux and I'm thinking, okay, I love Brady Martin's game, obviously. Love Chase Reed's game. You have a stalwart defenseman and an elite forward. Absolutely. In net, can you get a big save from Landon Miller? No, I don't think you can. I'm a Red Wing fan. I don't think you can right now. I look at their goals against. I look where they are. Man, Windsor has 89 goals against. Sioux has 120.
Yeah, that's not a small number.
You're losing in 5 to Windsor. If you play the Windsor Spitfires, you're losing in 5 with those numbers. Like the London Knights can sell O'Reilly and can sell Woolley, and with Medvedev, with the guys they would still have with those 08s, would still have a less goals against than what we see in Sioux. If Sioux stays the same. Sioux has to prioritize goaltending. We've talked about this. If you can get an elite goaltender, you obviously have to do it if you're the Sioux Greyhounds. But it's hard to acquire an elite goaltender like at the deadline. It's hard. All the elite goaltenders are on elite teams. You know, like you look around the league, you look at Windsor. Costanzo's not going anywhere. They're in first place in the West. Flint's obviously not trading Vakari. Kitchener's situation is what it is. Like Medvedev's not going anywhere. So what are you gonna do? Like Carter George is the only one, but with the rumors flowing, obviously I don't pay attention to burner accounts, but there's one rumor out there, and if it's not Carter George getting moved, Owen Sound's not trading Carter George. And we talked about this a couple weeks ago. I don't want Owen Sound to trade Carter George if I can get a pick for 2 goalies or get the right offer. Maybe that's going to be an effect with the Owen Sound attack, what they do at the deadline. But the Sioux Greyhounds need a goaltender to put up with Flint and Windsor. Flint and Windsor, Reece, I guess it's just beat each other up in the mark on and off the ice. GMs go
pretty
out.
much. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, it's Flint spent a lot of their capital. Windsor kind of has. They've still got some left, but I think the big thing for the Spitfires is they need defense. You can add whoever you want up front. They need defense. Like Costanzo, obviously, he's now the all-time leading wins. Winningest goaltender in Windsor Spitfires history, which I still can't believe based on the amount of goaltenders they've had. But Costanzo has been really, really good. So that says a lot about him. But you need more guys in front of him. You need more defensive guys in front of Joey Costanzo to give yourselves a real shot against the Flint Firebirds, because I think Flint Firebirds would outscore the Windsor Spitfires defense right now by a mile. If Windsor gets some defense that upgrades their blue line, maybe gives Costanzo a little bit more help, then it's a bloodbath 7-game series. Let me at it. Let's see 2022 again between Windsor and Flint. Let's see another version of that.
Plus the finals too with North Bay in the top 5 in the East.
Yeah, exactly. So that's my thing. That's my thing with Windsor and Flint. So if Windsor can get better on D, then they'll be okay. If Flint, I give Costanzo the upgraded net over Vakari. That's just me, but it's close. It really is close.
The way Vakari's played this season has been unbelievable. I mean, is he the most improved player in the Ontario Hockey League this year?
Oh,
I mean, you look at that Kingston team last year; they were a decent team. I mean,
they bought
Flint, and he's evolved,
right?
What's that? Sorry,
they bought.
Yeah,
right? He was supposed to be the guy.
Yeah. Like without it, like no pun intended. Yeah, if you're the Windsor Spitfires, there's one defenseman, and I'm just going to mention it because we mentioned a lot of Knights and they had 2 veteran players. It makes perfect sense that they go after Woolley, right? Big defenseman.
Yeah, I think so.
I think that's got to be the number 1 on the board. If I'm a Spitfires fan, I'm pounding the table. That's my number 1. If he's available, obviously, without a doubt, that's the guy. Who knows? Who knows what the London Knights are going to do? They play the card close to the chest, right? So it's hard to find out what they're going to do. Very intriguing deadline, though, for them. Very intriguing deadline. I'm glad we were asked about that. But I think that's all the teams. I don't think there's any other glaring obvious that we could answer about teams when you look at the standings. But
no, I don't. And we'll go in a little bit deeper on this. Windsor, Flint going to be hot topics. Kitchener obviously will be too. Sault Ste. Marie. Goaltending, like you mentioned, Colin, that's a big one. Ottawa for sure. Brantford if they're done. What's Marty doing in Barrie? Who knows? So it'll be a fun show again. That's 11:30 a.m. Eastern time, right here on the Armchair GM Sports Network's YouTube page. We are going live for 2 hours, 11:30 to 1:30. Half an hour before the deadline ends, and that's the regular deadline. Of course, the OA deadline concludes a day earlier, so that's done on the 8th. The regular deadline's the 9th. We will be live on the 9th at 11:30 Eastern time right here on the Armchair GM Sports Network. Right. Well, it does. Yeah, I guess it does. Yeah.
Hey, you got to win. You got to win, though. Get that off the screen, BC. I did not say that.
Hey,
you got to win.
Hey, Morty, that's That's why you got to pray for a Steelers win, because you'll wipe the floor with us. Won't even
Who
be
knows?
close.
Yeah, but you never know. Playoffs is a different game. I'm not
We got
commenting
no
on the
D.
chart.
We got no D. Oh.
Yeah, but the Charger, it's hard to listen to the sports media in the States because we all know how the media is in the States. It's just who can ever yell at each other the most. Like our trade segment that we were just talking about, it basically let's just yell who can yell louder on
Loud noises.
Yeah, get loud. I need more cowbell. That's a Canadian version of media compared to the States. It's night and day difference, as you can tell. You watch ESPN compared to the radio here. Like watch Overdrive on TSN or watch the afternoon show on ESPN. There's a big difference. I just think with the Broncos, you got like the Chargers game is what it is. Why would Sean Payton in the offense open up the playbook in a game that meant absolutely nothing for the Chargers? And literally all the Broncos did was get up 10 and just run the ball. They only threw the ball 10 times. Why would they push it to the limits? Because if the Chargers upset the Patriots, they play the Chargers for the third time this year. Why would we show anything? So that's where that is. But it's gonna be interesting. Yeah, honestly, I know the AFC, but the NFC too. This year the playoffs in football is so up for grabs. There's not one team. There's not one team that's a legitimate favorite. Like there's not one team that I would put. Like I would right now. You're not penning any team into the Super Bowl. Last year you saw Philly get momentum, and you saw KC get every call. This year, what team's gonna get the calls? Right? Like I will say this. My last point. I will say this. Sorry, Bills fans, but that Buffalo-Jacksonville game is going to be unbelievable because Jacksonville is absolutely humming, and I think Jacksonville smokes Buffalo. I think they smoke Buffalo. I don't even think it's close. Like, I think that the way Jacksonville's playing, and maybe because they're the only team that's beaten the Broncos over the last so many weeks, but I truly believe that Jacksonville, man, Buffalo needs to have a complete offensive game other than just Allen being the hero, because Josh Allen's unbelievable. But if Buffalo doesn't get a complete game out of Josh Allen, obviously going to get out of Josh Allen, but out of their offense, they're not beating Trevor Lawrence, who's humming right now. And that defense for Jacksonville, like, I know they played Tennessee, but like they beat us at home. It was their first home loss to the Broncos. Like they smoked us. Like it wasn't even a game. Like, and I think that just says it all for like Jacksonville, Buffalo. I think that's the most intriguing game. I think you guys will have a game. I think the Green Bay Chicago game will be interesting. Divisional game, but no Jordan Love. Like it's still a divisional game, and it's still Chicago. I mean, last playoff game, I remember the Bears playing was a double doink. Like, sorry, Bears fans, but that, like, you got to get it done. You got to get it done, and that's why with my hopes with the Broncos, I'm optimistic, but I'm not optimistic. Yeah, playoff time, just like most the Jays. Person there is. Exactly. Yeah, you just keep expecting them to lose. I mean, the Broncos were last place 2 years ago. Like we had Nathaniel Hackett, who didn't count special teams players. We didn't even have a punt returner on the field. Like, so can't wait for the football playoffs for sure.
Yeah, it'll be exciting. But before we get to Wild Card Weekend, we have Deadline Day in the Ontario Hockey League again, Friday, January 9th. We will be live 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time right here on the Armchair GM Sports Network. Live reaction and analysis on the trade deadline for this year's OHL calendar year. So everybody, thank you for tuning in as always, whether you're watching us on YouTube, whether you're listening to us on your favorite podcast platform. We appreciate it as always. For BC in the Clouds, for Colin Ward, I'm Reece Doumani. Thanks so much for tuning in. Again, 11:30 a.m. Friday. We will chat then here on YouTube.
You're listening to the Armchair GM Sports Network.